Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to week 3. Today I'm going to be talking about communication styles and how they are and aren't effective. Experts have agreed on 5 main styles that people use to communicate. They are assertive, aggressive, passive-aggressive, submissive, and manipulative. So I'm going to start off with assertive because many people say it's the best way to communicate among people. Assertive people give the impression of having a high self-esteem or being very confident without being too passive nor too aggressive. Assertive people also stand tall and don't get pushed around by other people because they truly know their worth and know what they're deserving of. For assertive people, trust is probably one of the main key factors you need to have with them in order to maintain a good relationship. Second, we have aggressive. Aggressive people are usually very self-centered and they're willing to put other people down as long as it gives them an upper hand. Aggressive people tend to focus on winning no matter what, even if that might hurt others physically or emotionally, as long as they get to win or they get to prove to other people that they can win or show other people that they can win. Aggressive people come off as either douchey or frightening. People might look at you immediately and just say, oh, I don't want to talk to that guy, he looks like he's full of himself. Or they might have heard you talking to somebody and they might be afraid to come up and talk to you because they don't know what you're going to think of them or say back if they confront you or even ask a simple question. Being too aggressive is not a healthy way to communicate or live because they tend to push people away by being so aggressive, and aggressive people tend not to deal with emotions super well. So when this happens, they just keep battling their emotions up and pushing them deeper and down and pushing everyone away, and by the end they have no one left and they just break. Third, we have passive-aggressive, which is also commonly known as being very, very sarcastic. Passive-aggressive people usually come off as being nice or genuine, but they usually have a darker intent or a worse meaning. Passive-aggressive people are usually hiding their own emotions because they feel like they might be less than other people, so they have to be super sarcastic and act like they don't care about anything just to get by. It's sort of their self-shield. When you communicate being passive-aggressive, it leads to confusion or mistrust or people being angry, and people might start to call you fake or untrustworthy. The fourth one is submissive, and submissive is the exact opposite of aggressive. Submissive people tend to put other people forward even if it puts themselves down, and they're never the ones to say no. Submissive people also tend to avoid conflict at all costs. They don't want to have physical conflict or even argue or confront someone about anything. Submissive people tend to act like they are less than other people, and people tend to get to walk all over them, even though submissive people are usually very kind-hearted and genuine. They feel as if they don't have as much to contribute to society or the project that you're working on or anything, and that leads to them holding back and holding in their emotions. And unlike passive-aggressive people and letting that out in a sarcastic style, they just bottle it up and let people walk all over them until eventually they snap too. One of the big problems with submissive conversation is if you're way too submissive all the time, people are going to start feeling guilty about you and feeling guilty for you, and like they have to do something to help, and it leads to awkward situations and broken friendships. The last type of communication is manipulative. These type of people tend to only look after themselves and only care about themselves all the time. They're always scheming around, looking sketchy. They're always hanging out with other groups here and there. They never have a core group. They're kind of playing all the cards. Manipulative people use emotions to control other people and get what they want out of them for their own pleasure. They make others feel sorry for them and guilt them into helping them because if I don't, maybe this will happen, even though it's all a trick anyways. Being manipulative leads to a lot of anger or mistrust. I would say the best way to communicate would be assertive, especially in a business setting, or more importantly, if you're on set with a bunch of people you just met. Being assertive isn't being mean, it's just being clear and making sure your point gets across to the other people and that there's no errors in the communication to where something could possibly go wrong due to the communication. I relate to this heavily because as a director of photography, I have to speak with my director constantly, but also I have to communicate with my gaffers and my grips to set up complex lighting setups or complex camera setups. And if you don't have good, strong, clear conversation, things can get blurred and passed around and maybe something wrong gets set up, and that just wastes time for everybody. Also, in a high pressure situation, say we gotta move now to get the shot done, and we gotta set something up still, I don't have time to sugarcoat all my sentences and make everything sound clean and pretty. I just gotta tell you what has to get done and what has to get done now, and hope that you understand that it's not me as a person, that's just me telling you what has to be done, and it's just because of business itself. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you next week.